Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Real Estate Life. My name is Rob Edgerly, and I'm happy to be here. This is a podcast where we talk about building a real estate community, how we are all interacting as real estate agents, and what's going on in our daily lives, right? We're all real estate agents. We've got a lot of stuff going on, and I'm joined today by Kim Tarbox, and she's the president of Maine Life Real Estate, our team. And Kim, say hello.
Hello.
All right. So how are you doing today?
Good. It's a beautiful, chilly, windy morning here in Maine, but it's fabulous. Totally fine. Everything's going to be great. Spring is just around the corner.
It's right around the corner. Quite a change from yesterday. Yesterday was like 45 degrees, and we were outside. We had an awesome time.
Fire. It was beautiful.
Yeah. So we had our annual.
It was really nice.
It wasn't annual. It was what we're trying to do quarterly, right? Is team events. So we had a team outing at the Wilsons County Barbecue in Portland. It was great outside, being socially distanced. And it was a good day for us. Perfect.
Yeah, it was really nice and warm, and with the melting snow and ice and nice big old fire, it was great.
Yeah. It was we were there. It was great to hang out with everybody. And I was looking around, just thinking, we've got a great group of people right now, and it's as we're building a team, that's always it hasn't always been that way. We've looked around sometimes and said, I'm not so sure about this setup, this mix. So we thought that was one of the things we wanted to talk about today was what are some best practices for hiring team members, bringing new team members on, and do you remember
learned some things?
Yeah. What were some of the things? What were some of the things that we learned, Kim?
Oh, I think it's definitely not a one and done. It's a process, and I think we've kid ourselves to think that just meeting somebody for coffee is the way to do it, or just because they were recommended or referred to us doesn't mean that they align with our core values. And I know we've talked about it in the past about our core values and our operating principles, but man, doesn't it make life a lot easier when you're really going through those, looking at things through those filters.
Yeah. I feel like when we wrote out our core values and our operating principles, which we could talk about, that's another whole discussion and how important those were. But once we use those as really as a filter, for who we are bringing onto our team, that's and we actually followed it. That was really important. One of the things with our team that we think is really important is systems and processes, right? That's what we're all about, systems and processes. And as I think any good team has systems and processes that they follow for listing properties, for working with buyers, and also when it comes to hiring people. Yeah. So we're distilling down, okay, what are the things that we do in our process? We came up with a few things. And what was a couple of things, right? We started with, we narrowed it down to 3 important steps in a hiring process. And the first was, really figuring out what kind of person we're looking for and putting an ad out there. Right. And having that that person then an agent apply and have an assessment along with that. So they actually filled out an assessment and had to go through some steps, and that acted as a filter. That's worked out for us as far as bringing we just had a group of new people come on. They all kind of came through that way.
Yeah, there definitely has to be some type of application with assessment, and it's got to serve as that general filter, because everybody loves real estate. And I think it's a really natural curiosity for people who are looking at maybe a career change and they like real estate, they have a great experience, they enjoy houses, they watch what they see on TV and cable, and it kind of, presents this kind of fantasy. And, but it's a career, it's a job, it's you're dealing with people's money. And anyways, it's just so important. I think that right out the gate we really filter through those that are just kind of like, oh, that seems nice. Like, you know.
Yeah, no, definitely. That filter process takes out the people that aren't interested at all. We've had people that we've said specifically, and I think this is important. If you put a couple of tasks in there, like write a cover letter, respond back to this with a cover letter and best times to meet for you, and fill out this assessment. If they know that in the process, like through Indeed, that's what we've used a lot. If you get a bunch of applications that end up coming in and they haven't filled out the application, they haven't put a cover letter on there, and they haven't taken the time to fill out the assessment, which we asked you to do, well, that pretty much just, we're going to drop you right out of the whole funnel.
Right.
Because that's really not what if you can't follow instructions now, really, you don't care enough about the opportunity to follow up later on. We know it's going to be a problem later on. So
right.
We
and
drop them right out.
And at the end of the, all of this is so that we can serve our clients at the highest level. And if you can't pay attention enough to apply the correct way to a job, then I don't want you out in the public and serving our clients. That is just not the level of service we provide. So
yeah, we take service really, it's a really important part of what we do. So if you're not going to be detail oriented enough to just follow the basic steps to apply for the job, what are you going to do when you're with a client of ours out in yours out in the future, out in the field? So that's number one, right? The second thing that we've been doing was what?
Zoom interviews. So even before COVID, we would host Zoom interviews. Again, another like follow the steps and click on the link and be here at a certain time. I think sometimes people can be a little more laxed or feel like it's a little more of a lax situation via Zoom. But also, we're busy people and we don't want to be wasting our time with people who are tire kickers. Our time is best served helping our agents now and our community and our clients. So no matter whether I think you would agree, no matter if they're applying for like a salaried position here on the team or being an independent contractor as a team member, as a realtor, that, you got to show up on time. You've got to follow the instructions. You got to look professional, and it's a good way to just try to like gauge the personality. If you're a dead fish on the other side, you got to bring some energy and some effort to the conversation. And especially now, right, with COVID, that a lot of our appointments have shifted. That first or second appointment has shifted to being on Zoom. So there's just some natural etiquette that's gotta, we can't teach that.
Right. Yeah. Well, actually, we can't teach that, and we're actually doing that on the on our Dale Carnegie business. Right. We're teaching people how to interact online, and there's a huge leap that we could all take there. I mean, we're all still learning that, but great point. And we're all meeting people more and more online. So you really got to, like, by doing that Zoom interview, we're saving our time as team leaders and trimming down, making sure we're actually meeting in person with people that it makes sense to meet, to spend our time with.
Yeah.
I had a follow-up to that, as a follow-up to that meeting, sending out, we're all fans of DISC, right? So we do a DISC assessment to find out, how driven they are, how apt they are to be, personable with other people. Do we, are they high C? So we know that, that we're going to really have to make sure that we cross our T's and dot our I's on that contract. And, all those, I think it takes all different types of agents. I know that there's certain styles that we think people will be more successful if they're an I and a D. I've seen other successful brokers with different DISC profiles. And so I think that's as much for us to know, where's this person coming from? So how do, I know what I am. I know that I'm a DIID. And if I'm dealing with somebody that's more of an SC, I'm going to have to act a little bit differently with them so that I don't blow them away. And that's going to help train them better later on too.
Absolutely. Everybody's got to meet each other where they're at, right? And I think also personality styles change over time as you evolve, and as you enter new careers, you're going to be maybe present a little differently than you were in a career that you really love. I know for me, I can speak highly to that. Like, I've had those profiles change over time, and it just goes back to, treating people the way that they want to be treated.
Right. So let's go into the third thing is really making sure that they're a personality and a culture fit. So we actually have them come in the office and meet with other team members.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about how that's helped.
I mean, there's an old saying, like, the way you treat the waitress is how you'll treat, I don't know, other people that are in your life.
I'll go with that.
Something like that. I'm sure I'm totally screwing that up, but regardless, we have a transaction coordinator, and we have other professionals that we work with that are just not, on the team as brokers. We've got support here, and it's very telling how one person will treat the support versus who they think is important. And having personalities that mesh really well. I mean, not saying that we all have to be carbon copies of each other, but we have to be, we want an environment that's supportive and fun and, growth minded, and we're growing our leaders here. And so we can tell very quickly in an interview whether or not, how they're interacting with other agents on the team, because we have those agents come and talk with them and ask their questions and
right.
Pick their brains about how they got into real estate and how they found us. And
yeah, I think it gives them a better idea of if they get to talk to other team members and they're new to the business, it gives them a chance to ask a lot of questions like, what's this going to be like in my first year?
Yeah.
We certainly don't want anybody getting into the business that's not fully committed and fully aware of what it's going to take to get there.
Yeah.
And thinking back to the people that we have on the team now, there's not a cookie cutter. I think you just mentioned this. There's not one style that's going to fit here, right? We have people that are social work was in their past, and they're been very successful because they really know how to interact with people. And then we've got people that are salespeople, right? Yeah. And of course, salespeople know how to help people and know how to find the issues and find the problems and fill those problems. And that's what you need to do as well. So, keeping an open mind to both, it's not I don't know, at least we feel like it's not one size fits all, or one agent's going to be the most successful. But if I know where they're coming from, I can help coach them a little bit, and we can look at their strengths and really build up those strengths.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Having a strong, going back to where this kind of all, came out, is looking around yesterday afternoon and just realizing, like, man, we've got a great group of people.
Yeah.
And it just feels so good to be surrounded by people who want to be here and are just excited. And, it's just, that is the magic. And that is sometimes very hard to have and get. And we know all the ways to not get it. We've gone down that road.
Yeah, it's nice to look around the table, or look, where we weren't all sitting at tables yesterday, but we're all distanced. But to look around at the group and think, yeah, these are all great people, and I'm glad I'm working with them. And we've had those situations where we've looked around the table and said, I wish a couple of people weren't here, or I wish I wasn't here right now. So, that's those are some lessons. So I guess to summarize that, right? We got an application process, a process of application with some built-in filters like assessments, right, and questions and tasks, so that we can filter out the people that don't want to be here. 2, you want to make sure you do that first meeting Zoom, and not eat up a lot of time, but just get right into a call with management so that we know, okay, is this potentially a fit? And then and along with that, as a follow-up, have it, do another assessment of DISC or some other thing like Myers-Briggs or something like that. And then 3 was have them come in and meet individual team members, so that we could figure out whether or not they're going to be a good personality and cultural fit. And only then, and that's a slower process, do we extend an offer to somebody to see if they want to be part of this team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely not, I feel like the times that we've just really like shot from the hip and been like, yeah, it'll be fine, have always been the times that have burned us. And having this process and the added filter of our core values and the added filter of our operating principles, which every team should have. And I mean, we mentioned at the top of this that that's definitely a topic we should speak about. You know, who you work with matters. We say that to our clients, and that totally should be our mantra with if you've ever considered building a team.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. All right. Well, I think that wraps us up for today. And yeah, we got some topics to talk about next time. I'm curious if you're tuning in and watching this, thanks for watching. And in the comments below, let us know some of the things that you might want to talk about or hear us talk about, share experiences. We're definitely into sharing some of our good experiences and some of our not so good experiences. We like to talk about failures and failing forward. So we're happy to do that as well. And so that's it. That takes care of real estate life for this week. Thank you very much. Thanks, Kim.
No problem. Thanks for having me.